Hopefully you remember the coordinate plane at least a little bit from last year. Really, this is just supposed to be a refresher on all the different parts of this, especially the vocab that goes along with the coordinate plane. When we talk about the coordinate plane, we're really talking about this two-dimensional surface where we're plotting points, and every point can be described with an x and a y coordinate. The x coordinate is telling us how far to the left and right it goes. The y coordinate tells us how high up or down it goes. So the coordinate plane is actually the surface that we're plotting on. It's this grid system here. The y-axis goes up and down, and the x-axis goes left and right. So let's say we're given a point. Let's say the point 6, 3. The coordinate 6, 3 is really saying that the x-coordinate is 6 and the y-coordinate is 3. It's saying go 6 to the right. It's a positive 6. We're going to start out at the origin. That's the middle point. That's our starting point. That's why it's really the word origin. That's our starting point. And we go 6 to the right and 3 up. It's a positive 3, so we're going to go up 3, and that's our point. And we write that as 6, 3. That's the x-coordinate. That's the y-coordinate. And we call those an ordered pair. That ordered pair is in the first quadrant. It's a set of two positive coordinates. That's the first quadrant. That's where we start out with. From there, it really makes a C. So it's going to go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. It makes a C starting out with the positives. We're just going to talk quickly about each of the different parts, a little bit more in depth, and we're going to connect it to a real-life example. The coordinate plane is basically, in math, our system of describing locations. We're really just comparing everything to the origin. That is our middle point. The x-axis is what measures how far left and right something goes, and the y measures how far up and down. The quadrants really just are the four sections of our graph, and our ordered pair is the exact location of the point described by an x and a y coordinate. Okay, so the real-life example of this, really how this is used in real life, is through maps and GPS systems. We'll see that latitudes and longitudes line up perfectly with our ordered pair. So the origin would be 0 latitude and 0 longitude. You could look this up and you'd see that it's just south of the western part of Africa, and that's really where the equator, which is our horizontal axis, and the prime meridian, which is our vertical axis, it's where those two meet, right at that point just south of, again, the western part of Africa. So the quadrants kind of line up with the hemispheres, and the ordered pairs are the coordinates, or the latitudes and longitudes of exact locations. And this is just a picture to go along with that. The prime meridian is this y-axis, the equator is the horizontal, or the x-axis, and that lines up at that point, which is 0, 0 on our latitude-longitude coordinate system. So that's one real big use of this. It's a description of a place on a map. The second way we can think about x and y coordinates is really instructions for placing the point, or really instructions on how to get to that location. Alright, so when we're reading and plotting ordered pairs, we're looking at an x coordinate and a y coordinate. The x always comes first, and it's performed first, so we move left and right first, and then we'll move up and down with the second coordinate. The x coordinate tells us to move left and right. Positives mean we move to the right. Negatives mean we move to the left. Y coordinates mean we move up and down. Positive is up, negative is down. Alright, so when we're trying to plot these points, we really just want to start out at the origin and then just count out where these points are going to end up. The x coordinate tells us to move left and right. The y coordinate tells us to move up and down. So we're going to start out at the origin and move 1, 2 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up and down. That's point A. Point B says that the x-coordinate is -1. That means we're moving to the left 1. We're going to move to the left 1, and then the y-coordinate is +4. So we move left 1 and up 1, 2, 3, 4. That is point B. I'm actually going to skip point C. You're going to do point C, E, and F on your own. I'm going to do point D. So when we see a 0, that really means that we're just not moving at all in that direction. So the x-coordinate saying left or right, that means we're not moving left or right at all. we're really just moving this amount, and that's saying that we're moving 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so like I said, do these 3 on your own, pause the video, finish those on your own, and then move on. So for point G, we can see it's over here. It's -5 along the x-axis and 3, +3 along the y-axis. So that's exactly how we're going to write it. The x comes first, it's -5, comma 3. H is up here, that is 2 to the right, and 5 up, that's a +5, so that's 2, comma 5. You should be able to do the rest of these 6 on your own. Just write out what those coordinates are, and then answer the 3 questions at the bottom.